Hello and welcome. This is Jim Kaufman with Rankin Technical College. So this video, I want to go over how to set up debugging in Visual Studio Code, especially in relation to our JavaScript Chapter 14 assignment, which is a lab on working with browser objects, cookies, and web storage. And there's some little nuances, some quirks on getting things set up and having things work as needed, as expected. So first, I want to kind of go over probably the best way to go ahead, and especially with the debugger, I want that to be available for you guys to be able to use. It's a great tool to help you figure out problems with your code and so forth. So now here on my screen, and another, the first thing is, sometimes Visual Studio Code will hold on to some certain settings. Not that they can't be deleted, but you have to kind of like go into the file system, delete some of those settings, and you might delete something you're not supposed to. So it's kind of dangerous, right? So like mine, since I was kind of doing debugging a couple different ways, one, you can do it where it's kind of it'll attach to the file system where the file is, and the other's kind of using a launch configuration where you can launch it for for a live server for for a local host. And so I kind of want to show you, like I already had mine kind of set up to do both, and then I kind of deleted the launch configuration. So right now, if I hit F5, it's going to automatically. If I hit F5 here, it's going to automatically bring up the app, the HTML page based on the file system, right? And the problem with this is that some certain functionality, especially with the cookies, will not work. So if I go ahead real quick and I'll show you where it's not working. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to submit that, and that's going to save the local cookie. And then here for web storage, I'm going to put the color blue here, and I'm going to store this in the sessions and also in the local. Now, if I go ahead and look at F12 to open the developer tools, and if you go to local storage here, it will have your favorite color, both on local storage, but it has this file thing here. It's probably not best. And then also here's the file path. This is what it's using as your domain, right? But if you come down to cookies here, it's not going to have anything at all in here. So you're not going to really be able to use this as a debugger if you want to figure out the cookie stuff. So probably best not to use the file system like this for debugging purposes. And so let me show you how you can just go ahead and really set that up, for your local host, the live server local host. And it'll make things much more easier for you. But there's a couple little quirks of things I'll need to show you in that about that as well. So let's go ahead and close this. Top menu, click on Run, and then choose Add Configuration. And it will give you these different options. Go ahead and choose Web App Chrome if you're using Chrome. And you also have Edge here as well. Click on that. Okay. And so here, and yours may look different. This isn't really kind of what we want. And like I was kind of saying previously, Visual Studio Code holds on to some certain things, and you may see something different here than I do. But I'm going to show you no matter what. So how to fix this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add configuration, and I'm going to choose Chrome Launch. Okay. And this is how you want it to look. If that, when you started that, when you did the run and add configuration, if this is what you have at the beginning, you're good to go. If not, go ahead and add configuration, add this. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is get rid of the comma and this other one that was already put in there and delete that. So your configuration should look just like this. Now, the other thing you'll have to do is you'll have to change your port to whatever port you're using. And that's the port you set up for, and this is for live server. Whatever port you set up, when you put its settings for live server, and actually you can go to your live server extension and look at the port, and that would be what you'll need to put in here. Okay, I'm going to save this. So we're good now. And what that does, so now I've got this launch.json file. If I come over here to my file system under VS Code, it put this directory, right? And then it has the launch configuration, okay? So now, if I go in here now and open up, if I go up over here now and just hit the F5 key, let me go to my index. If I hit the F5 key here now this is the quirk you're going to have to get around, because if you didn't have live server already running, you're going to get this, okay? So the way to get around this is, what you actually need to do is you're going to have to come in here and go open with live server. So it actually creates a session, okay? So now you've got a live server session, and now that you have a live server session, okay, we can go ahead and do the debug now, okay? But here, let me just to make sure that you understand this here. So this is the live server session you have. And so now if we hit F5, it's going to actually open up a new window for the debug thing using live server. So that's kind of one of those quirks, okay, that I kind of was talking about. You have to kind of have a live server session running. So now if we come in here and put my name, remember me, hit submit. If I put my favorite color and I do a store in session and store in local, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the developer tools here. Under cookies now you got username equals Jim. And that's what we were missing when we tried to do it. If we have the debugger running for the file system, it's not going to work, or it's not even the debugger running. Just using the file system path to your thing, it's not going to work with cookies. Okay, it's not going to work with cookies. For local storage and session storage, it will work. There's your favorite color. And the same here with your session storage. So you're good there. So like I said, you want to make sure that you're using a live server, and so you can make sure you got your cookie in there. And then so now it's set up for debugging purposes. So if we go ahead and just gonna move this. So obviously if we come in here and go to our script tag, if I go ahead and click the Mozilla, go to Mozilla, it's going to go ahead and open up the debugger, and we are there now, right? So it has to kind of have this session already running, kind of one of those little quirks with the debugger and the session. Otherwise, you'll get the error site cannot be found, right? So, let me know if you have any questions about this. Here, I guess one more thing. If you do have a problem with how things are set up, and you just need to go ahead and you might have to do another launch configuration. It's okay. You can go ahead in here and just delete this. All right, you can delete that, and actually the VS source code, you can delete that, even that folder too, and start over again, right? And just go down to Run, Add Configuration. We're going to do for Web App Chrome here. Okay, so it all depends. See, sometimes, and this time it kind of went a different path. It's because Visual Studio Code holds on to certain things. So let me know if you have any problems. And like I said, whenever you do try to create a launch thing, Now this time it went ahead and put the correct one in here that I wanted, not the file system path. It's just because, you know, there's those settings that, those things it holds on to. And then you can just change this, right? If for some reason it's still pointing to the file path, down here on the right-hand side at the bottom, I think my picture's in the way. My picture's in the way down there, but there's an add configuration button. You click on that, you can add a Chrome launch, which is basically this, but this time it kind of worked for me. So just one of those little quirks, okay? I kind of wanted to point out. So, you know, please let me know if you have any questions. You know, I just really want you to have the opportunity to use the debugger. You know, it's a very, very useful and important tool. So thanks, and have a great day.